Joy Reid is, in my opinion, the most racist fucking bitch on the planet. The bigger we get, the more attacks I'm gonna get.
Oh, yeah.
And people are gonna go back and dig up. We did get into a little bit of a discussion about words that you can use or not use, and that have been banned and now are coming back. And some people like it, some people don't. When we talk about Make America Great Again, we are not like referring to go back to a time when women couldn't vote, or at least the liberals loved Elon Musk. It wasn't all on hate until he backed the orange man. And once he backed the orange man, because they're worried about being called racist for firing her. They don't want that. They want to be recognized that they're good at what they do compared to anybody. And we just haven't changed as a society yet to accept that's a good thing. Her statements sound more reasonable. Like, well, it's not that bad. Until you actually hear her show. When you're doing what we're doing, this is a dogfight doing what we do. They don't want to give the Republicans a win. I'm going to tell Democrats how to win. Because that's the thing now. Oh, these poor federal workers, they have mortgages and children, and what are they going to do? And here's another prediction from me. You know what could blow that up? It doesn't end well unless it ends. Can't just report the fucking obvious.
I don't care what a critic got to say, I got them picking up the pieces. That mean you really playing with your life, I'm about to come.
Just a motherfucking jump. Just go. Let's fucking go. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy and the other fucking guy in the room. Chase.
What up, man? How you doing today?
I'm doing good, brother. I'm doing good. Yep. Things are been solid in the gym. I'm feeling really good.
Nice.
Trying to, I'm done with my bulk.
Okay. All right.
That's what I'm calling that. Because that's what I really had to do to recover from that COVID shit.
Oh,
yeah.
from COVID too.
Yeah, the COVID. Yeah, that really. So now I'm feeling good.
That's good.
Got some size back. I'm staying over 200 pounds. Now I'm going to try to remove a little of this fat and still stay over that.
The 200. Nice.
Stay over that 200. Yeah, really. So this is kind of funny. There actually is somebody that we might be able to be better than. We might have a bigger audience than Joy Reid. Joy Reid is a cable TV host on MSNBC. MSNBC makes CNN look like the far right.
Okay.
You know, I mean,
yeah.
CNN isn't known as a conservative channel.
Yeah.
That's Fox, and, you know, if you watch Fox, you're an idiot. But it seems like a lot of liberals know a lot about what happens on Fox more than even conservatives, so that always baffles me. It's like, you know way more than I do, you know, like. But MSNBC has been, well, since Trump won especially, has been, their numbers they had a little bit of numbers before the election, because it was every show is hate orange man show.
Gotcha.
Every single show.
Gotcha.
The thing about Joy Reid is, in my opinion, the most racist fucking bitch on the planet.
Okay.
Like super racist.
Why so?
Oh, just things she says. I mean, the things she talks about, and even to some extent advocating violence, and yes, just absolutely, it's insanity right now. And if the things she had said, here's how you know. Okay, you want to be sure something's racist? When she uses the word white,
Okay.
If we replace that word with black
Mm-hmm.
and I said it, I would be gone.
Gotcha.
Like no network of any kind would let me get away with that.
Gotcha.
No matter what like just public backlash and
Mhm.
just and there was a time, I think it was a couple years ago, I don't remember exactly, but the internet is a motherfucker, like especially these internet sleuths. Like I told you, the bigger we get, the more attacks I'm gonna get.
Oh yeah.
And people are gonna go back and dig up, my history with the Avengers and drugs and being arrested and being an alcoholic but I don't care because I put that shit out there anyways. You can't hurt me with that, That just in fact I talk about that stuff all the time to help other people. So that doesn't I'm totally good with it, but I know that it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because people research you. That's just what happens now. And they people were digging on her and they found some like old tweets. I don't know, they were probably 5, 6, 7 years old. I don't know. Because it doesn't matter how old they are,
Yeah.
right?
Because if you
Or
said
the
it, you said it.
context of the time, even though the time matters, but we didn't set that rule. They did.
Yeah.
They set those rules.
And they're pretty hardcore about it too.
Yeah. And so sometimes the rules that they set come back to bite them a little bit. Well, she said a bunch of homophobic shit. Like a bunch
Gotcha.
of homophobic shit. And at first, she denied it and said that her Instagram or whatever was hacked. Yeah, it wasn't
Gotcha.
tweets, it was Instagram, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, that it was hacked. And everybody was like, what? Nah. And she stuck with it and doubled down and even said she was going to have the FBI look into it or something. Yeah, like who gets to do that?
I didn't realize she was so important.
Nobody has.
Uh,
But so she denied it. And eventually she came out and her final thing was, okay, maybe I did do it, but I don't remember doing it.
That's a nice excuse. I'm gonna use that one next time.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
but
use
I
that one
don't
next time.
remember doing it because, it's horrible and I wouldn't say those things. But that was basically her bullshit last answer
Like,
was,
that last
was,
yeah.
yeah, maybe I did, but
I have no recollection.
I was
of
under
it.
the influence. I don't know. She didn't say that, but she would talk about things like cultural appropriation even. So like, white women. Well, she blames she's hardcore. If you listen to her recently, she puts a lot of the blame on Kamala Harris losing on white women. It's white women's fault for not supporting,
Yeah,
for
for not
supporting
supporting
black women.
Kamala. Yeah.
And like racist thing, like like cornrows, like I don't know if you've ever seen it, but I have. Especially more kids. Sometimes I've seen an adult woman do it. Rarely boys, but sometimes boys will do it too. White boys, like, will have that hair.
Okay.
Yeah, wear that hair, and like we shouldn't do that. That's part of their culture and theirs. But then she does dumb shit like before she became bald. She did dumb shit like dye her hair blonde. Well, pretty much any black woman with blonde hair, and I have no issue with that at all.
Yeah.
But if you weren't born that fucking way. That didn't happen, So yeah, just but really mean shit too, like just mean. So she lost her job at MSNBC. They canceled her show. So like some of the people that have lost their jobs, I'm thinking Acosta on CNN, that he was moved to like midnight or something or like really super late.
Okay.
And they did that because they wanted to get rid of him, and then he just quit instead, you know? So they've done that kind of stuff. And this isn't just going on at, yeah, here you go. You got it. Some different things that she's done or said. Yeah. Like, I don't know where people get where white people want to say the N word. I don't think that's really true. But what does really suck is, so yesterday, you'll like this. So yesterday, the last 2 days, really,
Okay.
I've had the T-top off of the Corvette.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Dude, that's been fun. And I don't know why I didn't do it before, but it's been kind of fun. It's like if
Feel alive. You
just
feel
the
free.
fair, the
The
wind,
winds.
is
Yeah.
like, yeah, it reminds me of being on the bike a little bit. It's cool. I do like it. Well, I was playing on my Apple Kendrick Lamar's Essentials.
Okay.
So a lot of times I'll do that. Like I'll just,
Throw a
instead of
random, like,
picking
album up.
because then you're getting some of the best ones from anyone's albums.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're getting the best
You're
couple
getting
songs from
a
each one.
variety,
A
not just
good
no single.
variety
Yeah.
to kind of expand, you know, because I know a few songs, but it's not that big. And I really like enjoyed several of them. Like they were really good. But there was one song, I swear every third word was the fucking N word, you know?
Yep.
And you can't sing along to that shit if you're white. I mean, in your head, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. But you can't, like, do you really want somebody looking over at you as you're mouthing the word in your car? You know, because they can hear it because the top's up, like the
Yeah,
music is
yeah,
loud.
yeah.
Like, that's not good either, right?
No.
Right? Can you just substitute a word that we can use or make music without
Without
that?
it, yeah.
You know, because we did have a conversation with a small group of people Monday night. We do this little church group thing,
Okay.
and well, we're forming a group.
Okay.
We're forming a group at Rock Point, and so people come in, and we've been doing this for the last 5 weeks. Last night was week 4, and we've sat at the same table because it was a couples table,
Okay.
and there were 3 couples last night, and so we agreed to form a group. We had one other couple had been there all 4 times,
Okay.
and then the other couple had been there twice, I think, and then another couple that had started out, they didn't show, so I don't know if they'll be a part, but we want to grow the group, obviously, too. But sometimes we're given different questions set on the table and things, but we did get into a little bit of a discussion about words that you can use or not use,
Okay.
and that have been banned and now are coming back. And some people like it, and some people don't. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but because of X making, not only X making changes, but Facebook making changes,
Yeah.
you can use the word retard or retarded now and not get flagged.
Yeah.
And I understand, like I babysat a little mongoloid girl
Okay.
when she was 5 years old, and her older brother and sister for a whole summer when I was in junior high. That's what I did for work and save money, and it was an all-day job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was great. Take him to practices and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, I never put it together like that, or I never, to me, and I think most people, like how you say something, the intent behind it, because there was a time when straight men would fuck around with each other, you know, like talk about locker room talk or just
Okay.
guy talk.
Gotcha.
And I don't know if you've ever said it to your friends, but somebody's doing something and you would say, you're gay, that's gay, you're a fag. You're not putting down gay people exactly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
okay. It's hard because it's even like we're not even allowed to have those conversations about the certain words
Yeah.
like this anymore. But I even if it became okay, I wouldn't do it. I would never. I don't like it. I don't like the N word.
Oh, the N word. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
getting back to that because I'm watching. I'm halfway through a movie that I started 2 nights ago called Hateful Eight.
Mhm.
It's
Good movie.
yeah, you've seen it?
Oh, I love
Okay.
anything by Tarantino. I pretty much seen. Yeah.
Okay. And I like it's the time frame that they're depicting.
Yeah.
The word was prominently used in a negative tone, right?
Yeah.
Where most of the time, I mean, a black person can use the N word in a way that's negative too,
Oh yeah.
just by the tone of their voice and the reason they're responding like that. But most of the time, it's the same as the bro or brother.
Yeah.
For us, right?
Yeah.
Like, is
It's
that
more
fair?
of
Is
like
that
an
fair to say?
It's used more than just like an adjective.
And
I
young
guess, or whatever.
people amongst themselves, non-black young people, seem to use it more. Where like my generation, we're like, we wouldn't touch that shit with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, I think it's because of like the culture over the years. Like just
Yeah.
African American culture has kind of taken over a lot of America, like a majority of America. And then I think the other thing too is like living here in Arizona. I don't know what it is, like Hispanic people just kind of adopted it for some reason. Not quite sure why, when, or what happened there, but like growing up here in Arizona, it was super common to hear people just use it, just like almost no way, almost always it was always more of like a endearment kind of thing than it was like
Yeah,
attacking someone or something like that.
bro.
Yeah.
Or brother.
Yeah.
Just
Or
like that.
describing something or
Yeah.
some sort of
Yeah. But but no, we're not secretly wanting to use that word, or most of us. You know, like I said,
I was
I
about to
get
say
the whole,
most of us, yeah.
like I get the younger generation. I don't like it
Mhm.
around me, but I understand.
Yeah.
I know that it's happening. I can acknowledge that it's happening. But like most of that's, it's not a thing. And when we talk about make America great again, we are not like referring to go back to a time when women couldn't vote. We're not talking about putting, people in chains. This is shit that Democrats actually say. They want to put you back in chains. They actually say that in modern times. No, we fucking don't.
Yeah, no,
No,
that's like
we
who would want something like that? Yeah.
dude, the people that would want that,
Mhm.
truly racist people, it's 0.001. It's such a small number.
Yeah.
And it's not growing. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah, no.
it's not a growing number. There are not white people, hoping to get asked to join a white supremacist movement. And see, they combine it. They combine nationalism, just having love for your country.
Mhm.
They combine that with Christianity too, and then this. Like they put it together.
Okay. Like you just group all of them
Yeah.
all in one.
Yeah, and she would use that, white nationalists, Christians. Yeah, like as a
Gotcha.
group. That's how they do that. But no, nobody's talking about doing that or wanting that in any shape or form. I let's see. Oh, there you go. Recently, well, a couple. This is when Elon Musk got Twitter. It was just above that. Yeah. That he misses apartheid in South America or South Africa. Yeah. It's like, are you kidding me?
Is that
This is,
where if the part of South Africa that he's from?
yeah, the part of South Africa he was from,
Gotcha.
you know, the white people were a very small percentage
Yeah.
of the people, but they controlled everything
Gotcha.
for a long time.
Gotcha.
Okay. And he actually, according to a book that was written about his life, you know, went to protests that were anti-apartheid protests when
Oh,
he was younger. Because
okay.
you got to remember, everybody loved Elon Musk, or at least the liberals loved Elon Musk before he purchased Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter started it,
And then him getting involved
and
with
then
Trump.
they weren't happy, but it wasn't all on hate until he backed the Orange Man. And once he backed the Orange Man, that was it.
That was the
He's
last. That was the
evil.
line.
It's just nuts.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the young guys that he has that are a part of Doge, they are, I'm pretty sure they're not, I'm sure that Big Balls
Mm-hmm.
is not secretly white supremacist. I'm pretty sure he's not. That was so funny. But yeah. But I'm not do we have some of the video of so this happened on Friday, and then her last show I believe was Monday, I believe.
Hers?
Yeah, it was either Friday or no, I think her last show was Friday
Okay.
too, but she found out like the night before. Like yeah. Yeah.
So she
That
was.
she was fired from MSNBC. And you got to understand,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, like the numbers. Like the worst show on Fox got
It's
better
getting better
numbers
ratings. Yeah.
than hers.
Yikes.
And I'm sure she was paid. What she's crying is she was blessed to have $1 million job.
Gotcha.
Because I'm sure she was at least making $1 million. Because they make obscene money. People could, like, I never attack people for how much money they make, right? Okay, but some of them, just like Rachel Maddow,
Mm-hmm.
$30 million a year. And now she only does one show a week. Like, she's the only one that has any ratings on MSNBC, and her ratings suck. So what did it say her?
1.5
The
mil.
3.
It used to be 3.
Oh,
But
they reduced it.
Yeah.
Dude,
That's a
she ain't
lot of
worth
money.
$300,000.
That is a lot of money.
Okay. For somebody that does not,
Like, give
because
any like
all,
value.
like, look, well, she said her show has value, and she was replaced. Now, this is how they do it. This is how MSNBC, though, because they're worried about being called racist for firing her, right?
Gotcha.
So her show is being replaced by 3 people, 2 of whom are black, and 1 who is Hispanic.
Okay.
Or maybe one of them is, we don't know exactly what they are, but they're not white.
A shade of
They're
brown.
non-white, or they could be mixed, or what it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I mean, they couldn't replace her with a white person.
People. Yeah.
Now, the old chief of staff for Biden, Jen Psaki, she's on that channel, and they're trying to promote her more. She's, she's white, but she is a woman. See, because they care about that stuff all the time.
Got to even it out.
Wow. It's insane to choose people based on that, dude. It's just dumb.
Yeah.
Now, I get why that was necessary for a while, but we've done that for some decades now, And this next generation
Mhm.
of minorities wants credit for what they do based on what they do, and they don't want to get extra points because of the color of their skin. They don't want that. They want to be recognized that they're good at what they do compared to anybody and not comparing race.
Yeah.
And we just haven't changed as a society yet to accept that that's a good thing to do that. That means progress, in doing that. So let's hear go back just a touch. Just like 5 seconds.
There's no.
Oh, it doesn't let you do that?
Yeah, it doesn't.
Okay.
that
Just start.
I'm sorry that that what I was doing had value, and in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV, and this is kind of like me on TV, so I apologize. And that it mattered. I see Karen is there, and she's been texting me as well. And so what I will just say is that in the end, thank you. Where I land is that the moment of guilt that I felt, that I went hard on so many issues, whether it was the Black Lives Matter issues of a young baby or a mom or a dad that was killed, or when we opened up people's eyes to the fact that Asian Americans were being targeted and not just Black folks, or went hard for immigrants who've done nothing but come to this country like my parents did and try to
Stop
make
it there
a
a
life
second.
and defended them.
The immigrants she is referring to did not come here like her parents did. Her parents didn't come here illegally. They didn't commit an illegal act to get in the country. They went through the process. There is a difference. And the time that they've had to make it seem like there is no difference
Mhm.
is over. It's just over. It's just not the case. Does that mean I think everybody should be sent back? No. That's not it. But when somebody has come here illegally, and then on top of it, while they're here, committed another illegal act, that I'm all for deportation. And a lot of people are, and not just conservatives or Republicans. We get a few from the other side. So, but go ahead, let it play a little more.
Or whether we've talked about what the president is doing that is subversive to the Constitution, that is injurious to our liberty, defending books that people find inconvenient, that Nicole Hannah-Jones put into our spirit, that we need to understand 1619 as the real founding of this country, whether it's talking about any of these issues, and yes, whether it's talking about Gaza and the fact that we as the American people have a right to object, to little babies being bombed. And where I come down on that is I'm not sorry. I am not sorry that I stood up for those things, because those things are of God. And I'm a church girl too, and those are the things that I was taught were of God. And so I'm not sorry. I'm just proud of my show.
Well, her statements sound more reasonable. You're like, well, that's not that bad, until you actually
Hear what she's been
hear
saying.
her show. Hey, y'all, you are listening to the Outlaw Apostle podcast, and I am the fucking guy, and I appreciate you. I really, really do. I can see that it was kind of cool to look and see that. I know this is ridiculous, but the fact that a video was put up late last night, like late, And when I went to listen this morning, there were already 9 views. I was like, really? 9? I I know that's stupid to be happy about, but I'm like, cool. That's really, really good. So the show is growing, and it's all because of you sharing with other people. I've been getting feedback from folks, messages, text messages, and I appreciate that too. And don't feel like you can't be, critical. And I will at least read it and consider. Like, not saying I'll change anything, but I am open to listening. Share the show. Appreciate y'all. I'm the fucking guy. And I mean, it, it couldn't be more anti-white. And that stuff just doesn't fly. It doesn't resonate. Nobody wants to support that, or only a very small number of people want to support that. And when you don't have the viewers, and then you don't have the advertisers, because they use that, I believe it's 25 to 54. That's the big of, I mean, that's the demographic, 25 to 54, that's most important to companies.
Okay.
And as far as, whether they're going to advertise or what the advertising is going to cost
Okay.
on a particular show, how many eyeballs they're going to get. And those are the eyeballs they want the most.
Okay.
Now, of course, there's targeting of, media has, and not just media, but commercials and content has never been more targeted than what it is today. I mean, it's insane how targeted it is. And what you're given in your algorithm or feed because of the things you watch or how long you stay on a video, that it assumes you like that, or if you replay the same video 2 or 3 times, all of that plays into it. That's targeted. That's totally different. You can do that. But we're just talking old school advertising and media, the 25 to 54. That's where the money is. So, yeah, it's be interesting because a number of people, when they've left, they have gone into podcasting.
Okay.
You have a Megyn Kelly, and Megan was not with, well, she was with Fox forever, and then she went to NBC for a very short period of time, and that relationship didn't really work out.
Okay.
Obviously, NBC, MSNBC, you get the idea. That didn't work out. But she has a very successful podcast. She has a good following. She's easy to listen to. She has good guests. She's articulate. All of those things. Like, you can do really well, maybe not always as good or better than what you would do, but definitely like somebody like Megyn Kelly can do easy over and make over $1 million a year doing the podcasting.
Gotcha.
Now your very top people, like, a Stephen A. Smith, he's probably making 25 million and his contract is up, and he does podcasting now too. And I think he's doing that to just set himself up that if the contract doesn't work out,
Yeah.
there's
Plan
right,
B or whatever.
because it's different for him than just starting a podcast from scratch, because he's already known. The networks made him known. When you're doing what we're doing, this is a dogfight doing what we do. But I'm good with that. I'm good with the dogfight. I am. I don't, how do I want to say it? I don't take away from somebody else as like, well, it's not fair that they get to do this and they get to make this. Man, that's just not the way the cards are dealt. You just have to play the cards and work and grind and, exchange cards. I'll take 2 this hand, and just play the game.
Yeah.
And just play the game. And at least for me, what I am proud of what we do is being authentic. And I'm okay with not agreeing with people. You know, I had talked about somebody on the previous episode, and it kind of all came to a head yesterday that I let a client go that wanted to continue and said he wanted to continue. And I just basically said no. And he said, over that Facebook post, dude, you can say whatever you want to say. And I support your ability to say it, especially on your own page. You can say anything you want on your own page. But just as you have that right, I have that same right to choose who I want to do business with and be associated with. And a lot of people would just have looked the other way for the money. And I don't want to. I'm trying to build something. And I'm willing to have people that are a part of it. Like, there's not a litmus test. Like, you have to agree with 83% or 94% of whatever I say. That's not it. Just don't be a dick. That's number one. Don't be a dick. And whatever you believe, have real reasons that you believe it, not that you're just repeating
What you heard.
what you heard.
Yeah.
And there's just, people do that on both sides. You know, it is weird. Like, sometimes I end up on sides where I'm defending something where I'm like, why the fuck are you guys doing this to me? Why are you making me do this? There was a post about Elon Musk, and let me see what it was. Oh, it was listing all of his assets.
Okay.
I think it was Elon Musk. It could have been some other billionaire. I don't even.
On your Facebook?
No, it wasn't. It was somebody else's page. I didn't
Gotcha.
post it, but it got down to, it was talking to this person had, it wasn't Musk, because he could have the biggest yacht in the fucking world. Because I think the person was worth 70 million, and you can have a big boat if your net worth is 70 million, and they might call it a yacht, but it's not what we think of as yachts. You know
Okay.
what I mean? Like
Okay.
the big thing. Like, yeah, you're not shit. That's not not at that level. Someone else. But anyways, but it was still somebody with money, and it was it must have been a liberal person, because I didn't really want to defend him. But then they were listing like how many watches they had, luxury watches, and
Okay.
like, how the fuck do you know how many fucking
Watches they have.
watches he has? Like, did he post it? Like, that information doesn't go on your tax return. Somebody else says, well, he probably has to disclose it to who? There's no such thing. There's no watch disclosure form. It's not a thing. No. Yeah. So I end up defending sometimes things I don't want to defend because of the principle of it. That's just how I believe things. Like I said, like, I will, just because I don't like what you say doesn't mean I won't defend your ability to say it. That we all, like, Democrats used to be for that kind of stuff. There was a time when Democrats were anti-war. There was a time when Democrats would have supported and totally been in on getting rid of fraud and waste and whatever corruption. And at least for me personally, I don't care what the person's party affiliation is. If in this digging that Musk does uncover some corruption of some conservatives or some Republicans, if we lose that conservative, even though we have such close majority right now. If we lose them because I don't care. I I honestly want to see it done the right way. I honestly want to see that both sides be treated like that if there's wrongdoing,
Yeah.
you know. So it'll be interesting if she does a podcast because I don't know what she'd really get or how many people, because knowing the numbers, I think 35 to 65,000 people, something like, dude, do you know how bad that is for TV, a national TV program? 35 to 65,000? That is like horrendous.
Nothing compared to
Yeah. I mean, we are what we are, but we know what we are.
It's different when you're a
Yes,
TV like
absolutely.
station.
Yeah. Ratings plummet. And that, yeah, it's just a huge number that she lost.
Not even 1 million people.
I don't think that was her show. I think that was MSNBC, but yeah, 45,000 during the day, 63,000 peak
Yikes.
hours of the night. Maybe the other numbers were weekly. Like that needs to be your nightly number. It needs to be. But the thing is, they're getting rid of a few extreme people, like super extreme, but they're still hanging with their as being the most progressive and liberal mainstream media platform.
Gotcha.
For sure. Yeah, and they'll have a so-called conservative on a show. Michael Steele is one that's taking one of the 3 spots when I said 3
Michael
people were
Steele.
taking over for her. Yeah, he at one time, years ago, was thought pretty well of among conservatives for a minute, and actually was the head of the Republican National Party.
Okay.
And he's just gone. Like they love conservatives like this that turn on conservatives, or a Republican that
Yeah. That they
turns
just flip
on it.
around. Yeah.
Right. And then these people like Steele love the attention. That's what they care about.
Gotcha.
They want to be liked more than they
Care about
have
the
principles of what they believe. Like I said, I'm all good if what you believe being different than me is what you really honestly have a belief about. But I don't do well with people that aren't open to always looking at new information.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I'm at least willing to hear it for a minute. I mean, if it's totally out there
Yeah.
stupid, that's one thing. But anything reasonable,
Just sit
you
there
know,
and listen. Yeah.
sure. Absolutely. Because, my opinion has changed over time about fitness things and diet things with them as my knowledge expanded. What I do know is when I am learning, that I actually learn that there's more that I don't know than I know. Even
Oh,
when
yeah.
I'm really smart on a topic, it just proven to me that there's so much more to it. And you get people, especially like in fitness and nutrition's a big one,
Yes.
that they
Yeah.
just get stuck on one thing. And yeah, it's going to change. And then you could talk about the science and the studies and all that. that changes too.
Yep.
I don't know where people got like, you get a scientific answer and it never changes. That's
That's not how
not
sound.
it.
Not how
It
science
just,
works.
no. Well, it's only as good as the inputs. And maybe you can repeat it and get the same results in a study. That's good.
Yeah. Doesn't mean that
But
it's always gonna be the
if
same.
your inputs, if you find out later that this your input was wrong or you needed an additional input, that could change the whole outcome or
And
what
drastically
you think.
too. Yeah.
Yes. And you have to at least be open to the fact that that can happen.
Yeah.
That this is the best as of what we know right now. And so, yeah, I just want that's at least like when I was a financial advisor and I had liberal clients, that was the reason they would still work with me
Okay.
is
The
even though
willingness
we didn't,
get along too
yeah,
well.
even though they knew that I had these certain beliefs and stuff, they knew I really believed them. That is, I
It
wasn't
was
just
an affront.
repeating
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, and we had a mutual respect for each other based on that. That was big, and there's no reason for me to change that today.
No.
That's just to me. That's just where the common ground is. Like we're not even, and I'm honest about it. When I'm seeing the stuff that I see on social media, to try to have a conversation or even in person to find common ground with people, they're not interested. So why would I be?
I mean,
Like
yeah.
it, like because I've had it. Like, well, show me something. Okay, here, I'll show you this. And when you just totally disregard it, when it's kind of something that clearly shows something,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you're not interested in having an open dialogue or finding at least a place where we can find common ground. That's how the country needs to move forward. But until people are at a place to do that, the other side's just going to have to suck up the fact that they lost. Because to me, it would be how much part. See, they don't want to give the Republicans a win. I'm going to tell Democrats how to win. They need to join and there were a couple that joined like Congress's Doge groups, you know, they created some, and there were some Democrats that joined and then a couple that left the group. But you should join the group. You should be a part. And then don't criticize everything, but when there is the occasional thing that like you want to make a point about, make a point about it then.
Okay.
But when you're just when you oppose every single thing, nobody believes that every single thing they're doing is bad. We just don't.
Yeah.
We don't think that. And do we care? Are we empathetic about people, losing their jobs? Well, are they empathetic now that I just saw, I don't know, in the last 2 days, I think Starbucks is like getting rid of a lot of people across the country, like mass layoffs. Yeah. Yeah, that's corporate employees.
Okay. So now like store.
Well, I don't know. They do have some company owned stores. And then, of course, you have the franchises then too. But these are the people in the management of the company, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's 1,100 people that, they have mortgages too. Because that's the thing now. Oh, these poor federal workers, they have mortgages and children. And what are they going to do? Well, that happens all the time in the private sector. I mean, I don't know what Chase's company rules are, but most companies, you can be fired without cause. Like, you don't have to fuck up. You don't have to have a bad review. They can just fire you because they're downsizing and, the bank's profits have gone down and they're just trying to cut where they can cut.
Actually, don't know.
Yeah, you might wanna,
I'm gonna go. Yeah, when I go into work today, I'm actually gonna look that up.
I'm gonna tell you,
It's
I,
it probably
I'm
is. Yeah.
pretty sure I'm right
Oh yeah.
because that's
That's
it's
how
just
business works.
it's just common,
Yeah.
and sometimes you have to do that. And then again, it kind of sucks, but you know they're trying to make these changes fast for a reason, for the time period that they have to make this happen and do this. And they want to make enough of a change that it will last beyond this 4 years and then can't be reversed as quickly as it was last time to really fuck us all back up again. And Congress will need to step in to do those things. And here's another prediction from me, is typically the party in power, especially if they have all three, or two, they have
A
the House,
majority of it,
the
yeah.
Senate, and
I got what you're saying.
the
yeah.
House, the Senate, and the presidency. If they have all three of those, typically at midterms, they lose people. They
Okay.
may not lose control, but they lose
Get
people.
replaced.
And
Yeah.
a lot of times you will get one or the other, either the House or the Senate, to flip.
Gotcha.
Here's what I can tell you, that I know why that happened the first time Trump was in. I know why it's happened in other administrations. And I can tell you, based on what we're seeing right now,
Mm-hmm. It's not happening?
it's not happening. They will gain
Okay.
numbers,
All right.
which will be further affirmation to Trump. Like, he will beat them. Like, hey, yeah, it may be I only have 2 years left before, but the American people just reaffirmed that they like the track that we're on, and we had a mandate and we've been implementing it. And what could blow that up is Trump not delivering.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what could blow it up. What's not going to blow it up is Democrats with better messaging. See, that's the other thing. They think they lost. They think they lost because voters are misogynist and racist.
Okay.
Like, they've actually said that in big settings. They had, like they have like a little Republican convention and vote for people to be the head of the Republican National Party. Democrats do the same, and they did that recently. And the panel on stage, one guy, I don't remember his name, but asked the question, hey, how many of you in here believe that, racism and misogyny plays a role? That, you have people that just hate women and they don't like people of color, and that's why Kamala Harris lost. And like, everybody raised their hand. And it's just, well, they're Democrats, dude. So it's
okay.
not
Sorry.
it's not like a split audience.
I thought you were.
okay?
I thought we were at the Republican side. Okay.
Mm-mm.
No. Okay, that makes sense.
No, but it's insane. Like, that's just not it. Those reasons are not on my list. So I can't even say they would be at the bottom of my list,
Okay.
because they don't even make the bottom of my list. I mean, all the conservatives I know would absolutely, positively vote for not only someone who was a minority, but a minority woman to be president.
Mm-hmm. If she
If
was
it was the
preaching the
right
right
person.
things.
Yeah. If it would be about the message.
Yeah.
Like I said years ago, this is going back over 20 years, dude, that Republicans loved Condoleezza Rice. Loved her. She just didn't have an interest. But if she had, she would have, I don't know if she'd have won, because there are people that you think would be good people,
Then when they
but
run,
then
just
they run a horrible campaign. I forget the dude's last name. He was an actor. So put this in. Republican actor who was a senator and ran for president. Tennessee senator. Fred Thompson.
Fred Thompson.
Fred Thompson. Okay, if you've seen a picture of Fred Thompson, yeah, this guy has been like in movies and shows for like ever, like a ton, like his work, like big time. And he just always came across as presidential. And he ran, and his camp, I wanted to back him back then,
Okay.
but his campaign was horrible, dude. It was just horrible. It's like he didn't care. You have to want it. You have to care.
Yeah.
You have to
You
like,
have to have the passion
he
for
was
it.
like, if I win, I win. If I don't, I don't. That does not work with people when it comes to picking a president. They want to know. And like, even if you hate President Trump, you know he really wanted to be president. Like, he cared a lot
Oh, yeah.
about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We just never got any closeness with Kamala Harris. We don't really know who she is
To this day.
to this day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, that plays a big role. There was a bunch of things that played into this. You know, maybe the Democrats wouldn't have lost if the right thing had been done 2 years into Biden's administration and Kamala Harris was made the president
Mhm.
because Biden stepped down. I don't know that she would still have won if that had happened, but they had an actual primary where other people actually challenged for the nomination. But they didn't do that. When they were talking about doing that at the end, or some shortened version of that,
Mhm.
Biden came out, supported Harris, and it was over. Nobody wanted to be against that because you just, especially in their party, they hamstrung themselves. We will look stupid if we're against a black woman.
Yep.
And it didn't go well. And again, you don't know how somebody like that process weeds people out. Like Fred Thompson, who I thought was a really good senator and a really good dude. Like, but president is a different motherfucking animal. It's a different fucking job. I think DeSantis is the same way.
Okay.
DeSantis is like fucking up right now. You know, he backed Trump, got into, you know, he wasn't anti-Trump, but, you know, obviously they butted heads. They came together for the election. And now for governor of Florida, Trump, like he wanted to endorse somebody else. For senator, DeSantis picked somebody different. And then you have for governor, Byron Donalds. I think you can look that up. That's who Trump wants or supports. Yeah. To be, he's a congressman from Florida, and that's who Trump supports to be the next governor of Florida because, you know, Trump's racist. But see, can you imagine? Think about this. Democrats say the most racist shit because I think calling a black man an Uncle Tom is racist. And just basically that they view people like Democrats view people like Byron Donalds as somebody who doesn't really believe in conservative principles, that he's just doing it to get elected or make good with Republicans, and he's okay with being the token black person. We don't have that. That's not it. A lot of people who know Byron Donalds
Mhm.
like him, especially conservatives. Now, DeSantis came out and said that, somebody that would be a better governor than him. And I think DeSantis was a great governor. Doesn't mean you'd be a great president. But somebody that would be a great governor would be his wife. Now, what the fuck are the qualifications of his wife, dude? That she was married to a governor? That reminds me of the Hillary bullshit. Because you can say, well, Hillary was a senator. She was motherfucking nothing before all that bullshit. And if you know the Clinton story, she basically hitched her wagon to someone that she thought was going to go places. And he did. And she went for the ride. I think, to not support Donald and to support your wife, really, dude? Now, if somebody else brought up his wife, that would be different. But him doing it, and that happens in Congress sometimes too, where you'll have a congressman that was like there was one in Michigan. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Yeah, that's one I wanted to talk about too, was Bill Maher on a recent podcast talking about gender and stuff. That was really good. Yeah, we're probably not going to have time on this one to do that. But anyways, getting back to previous thing I was sharing about, totally fucked myself. But that's me that's how my mind thinks so fast.
Oh yeah. No, trust me, I get you.
So governor,
His wife.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, congressman. There was a Michigan congressman. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, whose wife, I mean, he was like a Michigan congressman for, say, 30 years. And then when he died, his wife, and do you know the reason that works sometimes? Yeah.
Debbie
Dingle. Yep, that's her.
Debbie Dingle.
Her husband was like a congressman for like a long time. Long time. John Dingle. So, but what, go down the side. You see she was born, political party, spouse, education. She's got a bachelor's and a master's. Whoop-de shit. That's it?
That's it.
Yeah. No, look, here's the thing, dude. She was married to someone who was a congressman.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's it. That's what she did. That doesn't give you the qualifications to do it. But that's it. But it does happen. But I was saying the number one reason that works sometimes, the reason it works is name recognition.
Gotcha.
Because you don't even put the first name on the sign, dude.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Because I mean, you already have everything with the
You
same
put
last name
Dingle
on
to
there.
continue the dream, to continue to fight for the American dream, even though she hadn't been elected before. You make it sound like it's the same one like that by implying, but it not really being. And there are people that don't know that the person is dead and just votes because it's a familiar name. And that worked at one time, but it's starting to work less and less.
No, because it's the internet and stuff like that.
Yeah, because that's why. Because you're like, why do we have all these stupid signs? Because they're horrible. Horrible for the environment. Horrible, period. We should not have political signs put on public property. You want to put a sign in your yard? Dude, you can put the biggest motherfucking sign in your yard as long as your HOA allows it or whatever.
Yeah, nowadays you never
but
know
you know what I'm
HOA,
saying?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, you do it. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
But just
in the middle of the road.
I fucking hate that
busy
shit,
intersection.
dude. And I don't care whose sign it is. I
Yeah.
hate it.
No, I agree. I'm the
But
same way.
that only worked for a period of time, and it's working less and less because it was just about creating name recognition. So that when you got in the booth and you're less sure about a particular thing, you have a choice. You can leave it blank
Hmm.
because you don't really know.
But if
And
it's
a
a
lot of
familiar
people aren't
name,
willing to do that because I hate Orange Man. So they're looking for the D. And beyond the D, they're, maybe looking for a familiar name or the name says, I see them. Yeah, I haven't really heard any bad things about them. I'll just vote for them again. And that's what happens. And that's how people like that get into
that makes sense though.
elected
That
office.
does make sense.
But yeah. Yeah. I don't know why somebody would think just because DeSantis, because you shouldn't expect that if you're going to elect a woman as governor, it should be because she's qualified and you think she's going to do the job and good, not because you think you're going to get
The same thing
the
they're
best
getting
of
out
both worlds. You're going to get her and
Gotcha.
she's going to, be listening to her husband. And I think that should work both ways. That if a woman gets elected governor, that doesn't mean her husband would make a good governor. He never held political, as far as I know. I don't think DeSantis's wife has ever, type that in there. Has DeSantis' wife ever held public office? And I don't, and here, look, obviously, I believe you don't have to have held a public office at all. I'm just trying to figure out why he would do this. And it's certainly not going to help him with conservatives and Republicans. I mean, again, he did a great job. Former news journalist. Well, there you go.
Just saw something about.
Yeah, dude.
Oh no, I
No, she's
misread
never
that.
had-
No, she hasn't.
Nothing. I think Donald's would be great there. Vivek Ramaswamy, he finally made it official. He's throwing his hat in the ring to be Ohio governor. And Ohio hasn't had a good governor. Even though they've had a Republican governor, they haven't had a good governor for a very, very long time. I think that is excellent. And Trump and Musk have both come out in big support of him. And I think this is a great move for him, even though he ran for president super, super young. He might have been he may have been of the Republicans that ran, and there were quite a lot of them, the youngest of all of them. But this will give him that, governors who do a good job do have a better chance of being governor, president. And then after that, maybe senators, or in Trump's case, just because you're Trump.
Yeah.
That's not normal. But I'm not against that. I'm not saying you have to have had elected office that you have to be a city councilman first, or, some smaller role before you can go for a bigger one. I don't think I don't hold that as a requirement. I don't look at that necessarily. But if somebody is, I will look at their record of what they did.
Mhm.
They did do it. Yeah, that would make sense. But that's another good thing. But yeah, we don't have time. I wish we did. I should have told you that ahead of time and written it down. Bill Maher is trying to save the Democratic Party. And like I was saying, I'm trying to give them a tip on how to win. The first thing, and I didn't finish that, so let me finish that. That's how we'll end the show. They need to join and sit at the table with the Republicans. And if they ask to join to sit at the table, they're not going to be denied. But don't come and join and just try to oppose everything. Try to find common ground. And then when Trump is done, yeah, he would have had those victories, but you're also a part of those victories. And so then when you're competing in the next presidential election, it can be like, we were a part of this. We believe in this too. We believe in streamlining government. And with us, we're going to continue to do these things. And you're just going to get less chaos or whatever than you get with Trump, less drama or all this. You're not going to like, do you see what I mean? There is a way to package that and be a part of it and take some of the wins instead of thinking the way to win is just to deny the other side any wins.
Gotcha.
Because that's not always a good idea. It's not a good idea to, well, people were shocked. So I told you we had this small group at church last night, right? And we talked about the transgender issues because recently, in the last week, Trump had the governors in at the White House, and he slammed the Maine governor because Maine has said they're not going to follow, the new federal
male, female.
yeah,
It's only
they're
two
not going to
sexes.
do that. And then now you've had a male who came in 9th in pole vaulting is now the girls' state
Number one.
champion.
Yeah.
But I said, I was just using the NCAA. I don't know about the high school level, okay? But in the NCAA, when we've looked it up and when it's been reported before, this was said by the head of the NCAA, like the president, that there really is only, how many transgender athletes do you have at all of the colleges put together? How many trans athletes do you have in this country? Do you know this?
Like,
what would your guess be?
The percentage or like a number?
A number.
A number? Let's say 56.
8.
Wow.
I mean, 56, I would still think is a ridiculously low number.
Low number,
dude.
yeah.
But 8? If I tell you 8, you're like, all of this fighting about this issue, you're fighting for 8
people.
fucking people?
They probably don't even all play the same sport either. So you can't even make a team anyways because they're all individuals. That's kind of funny.
8 people, dude. That's just so dumb.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous, yeah.
Like, nobody, at least I'm not trying to in any way bash gay people or, take away any rights for people who are gay, but we're talking about a small segment of a letter, it used to be LGB, and then it was LGBT, and then we've continued to add more and more
letters,
numbers, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
A mess.
Right. And I don't care what somebody does as an adult, and most of us conservatives don't care. And the ones that do, you already know where I stand with them, and telling them to just knock it off and be good people. Don't be idiots. Don't be bashing people because of that. That's not being a good human being. That I can accept. It's their life. They're going to make their choices, but that shouldn't be happening to kids. That there's a line for me, and that's the line, is what we're teaching the kids, kids being groomed. You don't go from 2% of the population to 25% without something going on. Like, because you told me they were born that way. So now you're telling me people that were born that way went from 2% to 25%? Fuck no. Come on, man. That math don't math, right? It doesn't. You know that that's not the case, but I don't care what I don't care what anybody does, as an adult, but you don't get to fight women. So you don't get to step in the ring with them. You don't get to compete in their sports. You don't get to go in be an adult male and go into the girls' locker room, you know, because you like to dress like a woman. That's just that. I'm sorry. That's just that's where the line is drawn. You can, I you should not be attacked or in any way. Like if you're a man dressed as a woman and you go in the men's restroom, go in there and do your business, dude. Whip that thing out and piss. You know, I don't fucking care. But the other part we do care about, you know, and for them to like continue to double down on this issue when it's anywhere, the numbers at one time were 70-30, and now they're even inching up closer to almost 90-10 as far as when you take party out of it, how many people think that's okay as far as supporting daughters and protecting women and protecting women's sports. I mean, some girl, she probably got second place. The second place person was probably not another transgender, because if the second place pole vaulter was transgender, was a boy dressing up as a girl, well, that would have been a part of the headline. You know,
No, yeah.
two
It was just the
transgenders
first
take
person.
first and second.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would have been part of the headline.
Mhm.
So it was only the one and state champion. So the number 2 girl does not get, you know how cool that is? If either as an individual or if you were on a team winning a state championship, how cool that would be. I mean, I think my daughter, her soccer team in high school,
Mhm.
and it was in the big division of the big schools, right? Took second runner. They took runner up in soccer state, you know, in the
The
whole
state,
state
yeah.
of Ohio. And that was a big deal. State champion though. I mean, being runner up was great, and it was a great experience. But I don't know. Like, I know that would be like life-changing for me. Just having put in the work and achieved something and just going on, and you just took that away from her, and you did it in a way you just took it away from that girl who's now in second place, and you did it in an illegitimate way. That is not legit. That's not okay. Because now we're saying, basically, is the message that women are, we just going to go with women are inferior? I mean, what else? Because look, the best, so because we keep saying the best woman is a man. I think what the one of the people at our little group brought this up, the Caitlyn Jenner. Pull up Caitlyn Jenner ESPY Award. I don't know if it was Woman of the Year. ESPY. Yes, well, it's coming up. Yeah, but that's, you know. See, it's just the attention. Attention that person would have never gotten, or at least most would never get otherwise. But I thought it was a different thing. This is just a courage award, which I think is ridiculous.
Participation trophies. You gotta
Yeah,
hand them out.
the courage award should be someone, you know, who overcame something. Like, I think there was a girl surfer that was a top surfer that I believe lost her arm to a shark, right? I don't know. Give her the ESPY award for courage. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I don't know. But we do know that there have been this kind of thing. There have been other awards that basically, you know, let's just use woman of the year. You're making a man the woman of the year. So the best woman is a man. That's what you're telling me.
That's what they're saying.
The best woman pole vaulter is a man. The best woman swimmer is a man. That just, come on. That's just not
ridiculous.
A thing.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. And to lose based on that, how does that help you as a political party? Like,
It doesn't.
I mean, I'm all for standing up for people who can't stand up for themselves. And I'm not for bullying people like this. I'm anti. Like I've told you what I've been doing in the Facebook group I'm in. And I actually just got banned again on Facebook. I'm restricted again from groups because I said, I'll share that the next episode.
Okay.
I'll give you the thing because we'll talk about it. Because this guy said all kinds of vile shit to me, like because of Trump.
Okay.
You know, like fat fuck. You know, sucking Trump's dick and just like all kinds of stuff. And I said something about basically, look, it's gonna be a long 4 years for you and maybe 12, and you could use some Xanax. And it got banned because of drugs, because I used the word Xanax. And I didn't think they were like doing that shit. I wasn't promoting it. If I would have said meds, would that have been okay? And I didn't win
Probably.
my review. So I'm just totally screwed because trying to go through their process to get that fixed then and to like, it may or may not and usually won't. But it's like, are you kidding me? So this guy can say the vilest shit in the world and it's okay, but you're banning me because I used the word Xanax. But I'll show you what I got from
Okay.
him, the
All right.
return. It was funny. Oh my God. I'm just so over that kind of shit. And especially when on certain platforms you can,
Do whatever you want.
Pretty
and on others
much.
You can. Yeah.
yeah. And just that, like that wasn't even,
That extreme
I-
of any way.
that's
shape,
not even
form.
close to it, dude. I wasn't promoting it or whatever, but like what, we're not allowed to talk about drugs? The name of a drug can't be used in a post? And I'm just basically making a joke. Like, you should probably get some I'm basically making a joke. If you read the thing, like, you'll see. We'll do that. All right. So, that's it. That's all we got. I'm out of here. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy.
Whoa! Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic gotta say. I got them picking up the pieces.